Okay, everybody. Welcome to MoneyWise Wednesday. Today we're talking about paying for pets. Oh my. And we have a few of our pets with us today. This is Juniper. It's like she knew that we were starting to record. She's like, oh, I gotta perform. She's like, actually, I see you have a treat right there, Mom. So this is Juniper. She's 4 years old. She's been with us since she was a puppy. We love her so much. She is a part of our family. Kelly, who do you got there with you?
I have Princess Anna Kitty, and she is 15 months old, and we just got her a couple weeks ago from the Humane Society.
I love that you guys dress alike. Super cute. And Herschel, who do you have with you today?
So I have a gang of pets with me. Right? So I carry the gang with me, and rightfully so, the gang is with me because we're going to go on a journey this weekend to see if we can add one specific live creature to our posse. Okay?
Yay.
So that lives on. So right now, I've got a few friends to help hold my back, right, until we go and get the one that's going to be in our lap. So
listen, my dog is a great dog, but the one you got behind you, the ones that are back there, they are so well behaved. Those are the best kind.
Thank you so much. I didn't think anyone would recognize that.
They're so well behaved. However do you do it? Okay, so I guess Annie is the name of your kitty cat, right?
Yes.
Annie's like acting totally like a cat already. And she's like, peace out.
Peace out.
Yes, that's right. All right, Juniper, you want to say bye to everybody? Say bye-bye.
Oh, bye, Juniper.
All right, one more treat for her. Okay. All right, well, let's dive into our lesson today. All right, well, that was really fun meeting our pets. We're going to talk to you guys today about paying for your own pets. Now, some of you guys may already be pet owners, but some of you guys may be begging your parents for pets, right? Some of you are parents and you're begging the other parent in the house for pets.
Yes.
So we just want today to teach you guys that pet ownership comes with responsibility and it comes with financial planning as well. So know that when your parents are saying, no, not right now, it's more than just the pet itself, right, guys? It's the cost of the pet because there's a lot of stuff involved in having a pet. You don't just have a pet. You have to take care of it. You have to, take it to the pet doctor, just like you go to the doctor. So we're going to talk about what that stuff is today. Before we do, going to do a quick shout out to last week's winner for the $25 gift card, and that is Diane Williams. Thank you so much, Diane, for commenting on our retirement video from last week. You are the winner. We're going to be reaching out to you to get your address so we can send that on to you. So congratulations. Now, let's go ahead and move over to Jen and see what Jen can learn about pet ownership, and then we'll chat about it.
Whoa, where'd you come from, little buddy?
Excuse me?
Check it out. I just rescued this dog.
I don't think...
His name is Poncho, and he is my forever friend.
Okay. The thing is...
Caring for a pet is a huge responsibility. I accept.
No, I mean you can't.
Can't what? Can't afford it? First of all, how dare you? Second of all, sure, I need to buy some of the basics. Dog food, a dish, a bed, some toys, some treats, a collar and leash, a travel crate. No biggie.
There's a lot more to it than that. Did you know that the lifetime cost of dog ownership is somewhere between $20,000 and $40,000?
That seems a little far-fetched. Really? Nothing?
Just in the first year, you have to consider the adoption fee, a pet license, the initial medical exam, vaccinations, spaying or neutering, microchipping.
Okay.
And then you gotta think about actually bringing your dog home. Even if pets are allowed on your property, you may have to pay a pet deposit. You'll likely need to make your space more pet-friendly, with furniture, gates, and fencing. And a new pet means you'll probably have to replace damaged items like shoes, furniture, or the carpet.
Ew.
Then there's medical expenses.
Regular vet visits, of course.
You have to be prepared in case of injury or medical conditions, too. You might want to shop around for pet insurance. Then there's dental care, ear care, and preventive medication for things like fleas and heartworm. Even something as simple as an allergy can drive up the cost of your dog's food and medication. Depending on your pet's needs and on your schedule, you might need to pay for things like grooming, obedience school, dog walkers, and pet sitters or kenneling for when you're out of town.
Woof, that adds up fast. But if I budget for it and set up a separate emergency fund for Poncho here, I think I can make it work. It's kind of like budgeting for any significant expense. Except this one is cute and fuzzy and gives excellent snuggles, don't you?
That sounds very responsible of you, but you still can't own that dog.
What? Why not?
Well, because she's my dog.
Ah, bones.
You're gonna have to let go now.
Super cute.
Oh my goodness.
Good information there, right?
Absolutely.
All right, so let's talk about the details of all the things that Jen discovered about owning a pet. All right, so here we go. Pet ownership. So 68% of United States households own a pet. So I did a little bit of research here just for fun. Do you think that the US has more dogs or more cats?
Cats.
Of
Dogs.
course you would say that. Cat people and dog people have voted. Okay. So actually, there are 89 million dogs and 94 million kitty cats in the US. So
Cats are easier.
that's a lot, guys.
Yeah.
That's a lot of cats and dogs. And that's just cat and dogs. Like there's other domestic animals, right, that we care for that also cost us money. So that made me think about, well, how many humans are there in the US? Like how many people are there, right? And like what does that number look like? So 328.2 million people in the US, 328 million. So that means if you do the math here, that means for every 2 people that there are, there's 1 animal, either a dog or a cat, not to mention all the other domestic animals. That's a lot.
It is.
I mean, that's a lot. I mean, when you think about over half, right? Over half of US, somewhere between half and 3/4 own a pet. So that shouldn't be a surprise to us. All right, let's talk about pet expenses. So this is the common sense part, right? Basic pet care. We know that they have to eat. We know they have to have a bowl to eat out of. Most of us like to have a comfy pet bed for our kitty cat or our doggy. Gotta let them have toys. Gotta give them treats. I mean, Juniper's all about the treats. A collar is super important, especially if your animal's gonna be going outside at all. A leash for when you're walking them, and then of course a travel cage. Okay, so in the first year, you could incur these fees. It depends on where you live, and then how you might acquire your pet. So if you adopt a pet from a rescue type thing, you're gonna pay adoption fees there. And then pet licenses aren't always required, but a pet license is usually based on a city or a county requirement. Usually you see pet licenses in more suburban areas, not so much rural areas. And that's really, to say that, this pet is vaccinated and we've done everything that we needed to do for this pet. So that way, if the pet gets lost or captured, it's easier to be able to find an owner and that sort of stuff.
I was kind of confused there, Kelly, because I was thinking it was for our animals to get a driver's license.
I know, right? That's cool. It's like, oh, I can just imagine the dog's just like strutting down the street one day all by himself and the police pull him over, woo, woo, like, excuse me, puppy, I need to see some identification. And the dog like whips his license, right? He's like, this is my information. Wouldn't that be fun? We'll have to talk to It's a Money thing about maybe making another one, like addition to that. That'd be really fun.
I agree.
Okay, and then medical exams, of course, vaccinations, those can be super expensive for the little puppies. Herschel's gonna know about this when he gets one. A lot of vaccinations to make sure that they're not gonna catch stuff. And then potential surgery in the event that they do have a medical issue. later on down the road, especially as they get older. All right, let's talk about living spaces. So, Kelly, why don't you tell us real quickly, when would a pet deposit in your residence be expected?
A pet deposit would be expected in any time you lived in an apartment or rental property. That is something to consider before you make a purchase of an animal, and don't check into it afterwards, because it can range from a couple $100s to a few $100s, and it can be refundable or non-refundable. So it's definitely something to take into consideration when you're renting.
That's right. So if you kiddos live in an apartment that your parents don't own, they have to get permission from the landlords first to see if they're allowed to have a pet, which might be why some of you guys can't get a pet right now. But maybe you're working towards when your parents get a home and they move into their first home that they get to buy, you have a little bit more freedom to do that. But then it still comes with a cost there. But yes, if you're allowed to have a pet in an apartment, you're likely to have to pay a pet deposit. And that's because dogs and kitty cats make messes, right? One of my favorite parts of that video was when the little boy tells her that one of the things she could potentially have to pay for is replacing carpet. And did you hear what her response was? She goes, ew. Like, ew. It's like, yeah, puppies and kitty cats pee and barf on the carpet. It's pretty gross, but we love them. Why do we do it? We're crazy. But yeah, so that's why pet deposits are required, because there may be enough of those stains that you don't clean up yourself. And then if they want to rent that apartment to someone else after you move out, they have to change that carpet out. So anyways, that's what the pet deposit's going to help cover. And then of course, all of your normal stuff, pet furniture, gates, fencing, clothing, repair. So Herschel, all those nice shoes you always talk about.
Don't eat my shoe. Oh, Jesus. I love our pets.
That's right. So sometimes they chew on those clothes and you might have to repair that. Listen, that same sweet little puppy that y'all met just a minute ago, my Juniper, when she was a year old, I will never forget. One morning I woke up, we were about to go on a family vacation that day. We were about to leave that day to get in the car and go. And I walked into my living room and it looked like a snow bomb had went off in my living room. And I'm like, what is this? Pick it up and it's all foam. Turn and look at my sofa. She destroyed our sofa in a matter of hours, because my husband left her out into the living room. So when he went to work super early. So within 2 hours, she destroyed an entire sofa. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's why can't you just choose shoes? But yeah, so that was a very expensive repair that we were not expecting.
Did she have the sweetest little look on her face?
Oh, I don't remember. I'm sure she was, doing the whole, it wasn't me look, but yeah, anyway. So furniture damage is certainly something. And then of course, accidents. All right, let's talk about medical expenses. So we want to make sure that we get our animals checked out when we first bring them home. So we got to take them to a veterinarian. Well, veterinarians don't work for free. Maybe some of them do. Okay, so the medical emergency, of course, is exactly that, an emergency. No one ever plans for emergencies. And so one of the things that we want to remind you guys of is that there may be a time where your pet has an emergency and your family has to decide whether it's worth spending the money to put that poor animal in whatever, medical care it needs. And a lot of times people cannot afford those and they have to make really hard decisions to let their animal go, unfortunately. So we don't want anyone to feel like they have to make those decisions. So if you know that, if you know that when you move out of your house, when you graduate and you're living on your own and you want your own animal, right? This is a great way for you to start mentally preparing and physically through money, financially paying or saving for this kind of stuff, so that you're not finding yourself already living paycheck to paycheck and then going, oh my gosh, my dog got hit by a car and he has to have surgery and I can't afford a $3,000 surgery. And again, whether you can afford it or not, you still will come to a place where you have to make the decision on spending that money, right? But it does make it a little bit easier when you know that you have the money put away specifically for that. And you're not dipping into some other savings that you might have. Pet insurance is something that I would say, I'm a pet lover, but I think true, like hardcore pet owners have pet insurance. I'll be honest, I've never had pet insurance, but I can understand why some would, especially if you have a breed that is expected to live for a really long time, right? So pet insurance can be helpful. And there are other little things, like especially with small dogs, like they might have to go to the vet more often. And again, that's just dogs as an example, but sometimes there's teeth and mouth issues and stuff like that. And so pet insurance might help cover some of that stuff. So it's an option. Dental care, ear care, medications and allergies, all the normal stuff that we as people also maybe kind of experience. And then there's pet services, grooming. So some people like to take their dogs somewhere to get washed. My kiddos, they learn how to wash the animals themselves. It's like there's the water hose, there's the soap, don't get it in their eyes, have fun, right? But if you have a certain breed that needs specific care, like a specific type of hair that has to be done a certain way, like poodles are a good example. Like it's really hard for that. You might need a professional groomer to do that. And then like clipping the nails, that kind of thing. That can be really dangerous for some animals. So if people don't feel confident in that, that's where a groomer can come in, but it costs money for that. Training is a good one. Training is one that most people don't spend money on, but maybe should, because if, animals don't always listen, especially when they're young, what about dog walkers or pet sitters if you go on vacation? If you don't have anyone that that can take care of your pets, right? There's a lot of really great services out there. We actually have one that partners with us for our educator discount card called Creations Care that offers discounts to educators. So if you're a teacher, you can get a discount on that. So you can go to our website to find out more. But kennels, like if you have to go on vacation and you put them in a kennel, let me tell you guys, you can save a lot of money by asking your friends in the neighborhood. Okay, Herschel, I'm guessing you probably, your kids probably know another family in the neighborhood that y'all could tag team, right? So like maybe like you watch our pet, we watch your pet, take care of each other like for that week, right?
Yeah, my son actually is on the list in the homeowner association guide as one of the sitters should any of the family members need to travel for a short period of time or for an emergency. They'll contact him to see if he can not only house sit, but house sit the pet there at the home, so it's a level of more comfort for the pet. So it's pretty cool. There's some decent money to be made in this. So I would also suggest that if you are looking to become a pet owner, maybe some trial, I don't know, maybe sitting may be a good option for you before you get into some of the higher expenses that Kelly has gone over. And I tell you, that has completely changed the mindset of my son from whenever he wanted a pet when he was younger to now he's wanting a pet after he's a little bit older, because he knows all the responsibility that comes along with pet ownership. Yeah,
that's really, really good advice. Absolutely. Okay, so budgeting for pet care. This kind of goes hand in hand with a lot of our other things that we've talked to you guys about over the last 2 months, but 2.5 months now, actually, but who's counting, right? So budgeting for pet care, setting money aside monthly, estimate your monthly pet expenses, which we'll talk about how to do that in just a little bit, and make sure that you factor in annual expenses as well, like going to the vet once a year, that kind of stuff. Budget for the amount as you would a monthly bill. So you take out what you'd spend in the whole year, divide that by 12, and come up with a monthly amount so that you know how much to set aside for that. We earlier talked about that pet emergency fund. This is a really startling number. Pet owners are likely to incur at least one $2,000 to $4,000 bill, one bill for an emergency at some point in their pet's lifetime. That's crazy money right there. Mm-hmm. If you have that separate fund that we talked about, it won't hit you quite so hard whenever it's time to have to make that decision. Okay, so this is where you can actually line item all those expenses that we've been talking about. Like fees are going to be different, or cost of things are going to be different for all of us, right? Kelly probably goes to a different vet than I go to. That might have different fees, right? Herschel may buy a lot of his supplies at, say, Costco or something like that, and another person might go to like a pet store with higher, cost items. So we all will make different decisions on, the products and services that we, have for our pet. So what I think is super cool is for you to start with that initial expense. So if you're someone who wants to convince your parents to get you a vet, sorry, moms and dads, you kids want to own a pet, I think you're going to get a whole lot closer when you help your parents realize that you have considered the responsibility and the cost. Okay. And so help your parents come up with solutions for a lot of these things so that together as a family unit, you all are working together to make this happen. It becomes a little bit easier for you all to make a decision. Also, on the other side of that, you might realize that it costs a whole lot more than you thought it would. So you may be able to wait a little bit longer or respect your parents' decision on why now is not the best time for a pet. Okay, so you can look forward to the future, being able to one day make your own decision about that. Okay, so then you can total up everything. If you see here, like you can total everything over here, what you thought it was going to cost, what it actually could cost. Make phone calls. Ask your parents to make phone calls, or Google. You can Google what is the average cost for vaccinations for dogs, and get kind of a range. And maybe go on the high end just in case you would land with a place that is high, but yeah. So this is very eye-opening for you guys to, to consider. So this is a really helpful, handout for you guys to use at home to talk with your parents. Parents, if you're watching this and you have children that are begging you to get them an animal, this is a really easy, fun tool for you to use with your kids. Let's talk about this together, guys, and it might really help you prove your point to them other than mom and dad just said so, right? This might help them see the value. And a lot of these kids, I know my son, when he really wants something, he will save for it and he will spend his own money on it. And I think if they really want it enough and they've shown that they can be responsible, with it, and responsible with the decisions and the financial aspect of it, this could be a really great tool to help kids mature in the area of pet ownership. So what final thoughts do you guys have, Kelly and Herschel? What do you want to add to the discussion?
So as somebody that just went through this whole process of finding a new family member for us, I was surprised at how much things cost. I did the little sheet myself and I was shocked. But it's important to know what your budget is and find an animal that will fit in that budget and make sure that you're ready for that responsibility, because not only is it a money responsibility, but you have to take care of that pet as well.
Yeah, very good. Herschel?
Pet ownership to me is a huge commitment. It's something that I've slowed down over the past couple of weeks, couple of months, just so I can make sure that when I make this purchase or I make this adoption, it's not only one that's right for me, but it's right for the family and for the pet itself. So slow down, make sure that it's a good call, and fall in love with your pet. I'm hoping to do so in the next couple of days. Wish me luck.
Yay. Oh, we can't wait. We'll have to show some pictures. Oh, and I did want to say this. If you follow us all the way through this video, we're going to do something special this week for our $25 gift card giveaway. If you upload a picture of you or your kids or whatever with your pet into the comments, we're going to up it to a $50 gift card, and we're going to draw from that. So we want to see you guys with your pets. Just attach it in the comments there. Let us see your cute ones too. And it doesn't have to be a cat or a dog. I have a friend that has a pet tarantula. Woo, it's weird. And snakes, whatever you want. So,
Tiger. you know, whatever.
Sure. Right. But anyways, $50 gift card that we will do, and maybe you could use that gift card towards some purchases for your pooch or your kitty cat, right? And get them some little toys or some treats. I'm sure they'll appreciate it. So thank you guys for joining us today. We look forward to being back with you next week, same place, same time. Give your pets a little pet from us. And until next time, we'll see you later. Have a good week.